West is volatile.
No.
Sometimes downright hateful.
Jewish people, forgive Hitler today. Let it go.
Sometimes he's just impossible.
Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
He's been dropped from Balenciaga, Adidas, even a former president turned his back on Ye.
He's a jackass.
Yeah, here we go.
But Kanye has fierce supporters.
Things that we don't understand about a great person who I will defend to the end of my life.
This is one of the most extraordinary music creators of the last 20 years.
What's up, Ye? It's undeniable. Kanye's still in play.
Some people do really amazingly bad things, and the angel of death just flies right over their house.
And how does Kanye's mental illness play into all of this?
Mental illness has not been shown to cause racism.
But mental illness did play a big part in his divorce from Kim Kardashian.
I honestly can't do this anymore. Like, I think that.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like anything is going to stop Kanye from being Kanye.
You can't cancel someone who doesn't fear or care of being canceled.
TMZ investigates Kanye West, unhinged but unstoppable.
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
Do you now regret saying DEFCON 3 on Jewish people? Are you sorry you said that?
Absolutely not.
I know with Kanye, you're a celebrity.
No.
Kanye West has insulted, attacked, and demeaned over and over and over again. And he isn't slowing down.
Jewish people, forgive Hitler today. Let it go. Let it go.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like anything is going to stop Kanye from being Kanye. We live in a world now where there are certain people who just seem like they can do and say anything and get away with it, and somehow Kanye's fan base is largely still with him.
How is that even possible when so many others have been canceled for way less?
The president of Harvard University, Claudine Gay, resigned today, weeks after her controversial testimony before Congress about anti-Semitism.
Senator Al Franken announced today that he will resign. He said he would step down in the coming weeks after a series of sexual misconduct allegations.
3 of Lizzo's former dancers have accused the singer of creating a hostile work environment.
And I walk through the hotel, I walk down the street, and people look at me like I'm insane, like I'm Hitler.
Kanye West has taken hatred toward Jews to a new low. Not that he's the first, but he has the loudest megaphone.
When I wore the White Lives Matter t-shirt, the Jewish underground media mafia already started attacking me.
The red are the executives that are Jewish at these companies.
He's been on anti-Semitic rants for years.
Black people don't have the same level of connections as Jewish people. Black people don't have the same connection as oil people. You know we don't know nobody that got a nice house. You know we don't know nobody with paper like that we could go to when we down.
Yet he's still wheeling and dealing in the world of fashion.
Next couple months, what can they expect you to shoot?
All right.
Music. And media.
Kanye has paid a price, though. He's lost deals worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Deals with Balenciaga, Gap, Adidas, and more.
I went from being a multi-billionaire to not being able to use my Apple Pay. 4 nights ago, I couldn't use my Apple Pay because somehow Adidas was able to legally go in and freeze my money.
Kanye paid a massive penalty for his anti-Semitic comments. Losing the Adidas deal, which was $1 billion deal for him, is perhaps one of the greatest penalties that anyone has paid in the recent history of cancel culture.
Kanye, has been on this anti-Semitic rant for so long, and honestly, there is just no excuse. There is no defense of his anti-Semitism. You won't hear it from me, and I don't think you would ever hear it from any reasonable-minded person. It is absolutely abhorrent.
Bill, I want to get your thoughts on Kanye's anti-Semitic remarks.
I'm against it. I'm against rants against Jews, or really any ethnic group. It's crazy. It's just interesting the way some people skate and some people get canceled for seemingly much less egregious infractions, and yet some people do really amazingly bad things or say bad things, and the angel of death just flies right over their house. It's Passover, ironically.
So is it possible Kanye West is simply uncancelable? And if so, why?
You can't cancel someone who doesn't fear or care of being canceled. That's the thing about cancel culture. It's fueled by the care of it. If you don't care about being canceled, you can't be canceled.
I don't think Kanye's cancelable at this point. I feel like if he was going to get canceled, it would have happened. He would have to do something so ridiculously extreme, illegal, in order for that to happen.
Jewish people have owned the black voice, whether it's through us wearing a Ralph Lauren shirt, or it's all of us being signed to a record label, or having a Jewish manager, or being signed to a Jewish basketball team.
Kanye's voice is so loud, it gives anti-Semites permission to speak up and take action.
And what you're looking at now is a disturbing scene that was captured on a 405 freeway overpass Saturday. That sign read, "Kanye is right about the Jews," referring to his recent anti-Semitic posts.
The problem, I think, is that he appeals mostly, of course, he's a rock star, to young people. They don't know much, and they surely don't know much about the Middle East or Jews. So the combination of, Kanye out there, I feel like he sort of was helpful for spreading the fertilizer, and I do mean fertilizer, for this idea that Israel and the Jews are like the worst people in the world.
Kanye did recently issue an apology for his anti-Semitic tirades, and that apology was in Hebrew. Most people weren't buying what he was selling.
If you said one horrific thing and then said, "Oh my God, I was uneducated about this. I needed to talk to this person to understand," that would be one thing. But you went all over to every mic and camera you could find, over and over and over. I can't now believe, well, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean to hurt anybody. I just didn't know. Come on. It's too much.
I had Kanye right here at Club Random. We did an episode with him. I thought it was going to be a learning moment. I mean, we were here for 2 hours. By the way, we had an amazing, fun time. He's a very charming anti-Semite. And by the way, he's not the only one in America who feels that way. It's not like the Jews are universally loved except for Kanye West, okay?
Hold on, Bill. You could say the same thing about Hitler. A lot of people were thinking what he was thinking, but in Kanye's case, the fact that he's saying it out loud gives other people permission to say it too, right?
Yes, exactly. No, he's not. That's why I wouldn't air that episode, because I'm not going to contribute to this.
So Kanye keeps on being Kanye. Is mental illness the trigger for his tirades, or is that just a hollow excuse? Will people keep buying his music? And what about Kim Kardashian? What does she do when it comes to co-parenting with a man who is regularly off the rails? When Kim Kardashian and Kanye West had their first child, North, they were forever joined at the hip, not as spouses, as we know, but as parents. And co-parenting with Kanye West, well, it has been challenging.
Yeah, I'm just wishing my daughter a public happy birthday. I wasn't allowed to know where her party was. There's nothing legal. They're saying that these are the kind of games that's being played.
The marriage lasted less than a decade, but it started out like a fairy tale. For Kanye, it was a long time coming. He was obsessed with Kim for years.
They led a glamorous life, the couple that could make an event.
But in short order, there were problems. Everyone knows Kanye can be erratic.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
I love your work.
I love your work. I appreciate it, but don't talk.
I love your work, though.
I don't want...
But for the public, that generally happens in small doses. Having to live with someone like that, way more challenging.
It's very scary for a partner to be involved like that, and especially when you have your children. And the patient, whoever it is in that case, has to understand that they have to stay under control, whatever it takes to be able to make it a safe space for your children.
I am Kanye West, and I approve this message.
Kanye's presidential campaign was the last straw after he made a stunning, deeply private claim in front of a huge crowd and in front of cameras.
Even if my wife were to divorce me after this speech, she brought North into the world, even when I didn't want to.
Our sources say for Kim, that was it. She was ready to pull the plug on the marriage long before she filed for divorce in 2021. But she waited a long time, and we're told she was waiting for Kanye to regain some stability.
I don't honestly can't do this anymore. Like, I think that why am I still in this place where I'm stuck for years? He goes and moves to a different state every year. I have to be together so I can raise the kids,
Kanye would not respond to the divorce petition. He just wouldn't. He was convinced the marriage was still intact.
Nori just want the family back together. I just want the family back together.
He went through lawyer after lawyer. Some believed it wasn't so much as he was unhappy with them, he just didn't want to get divorced from Kim.
SNL making my wife say I divorced him on TV because they just wanted to get that bar off, and I ain't never even seen the papers. We not even divorced, because that ain't no joke to me. My want their parents to stay together. I want us to be together.
The marriage finally officially ended in November 2022. They settled on joint custody of their 4 kids, but Kim has them most of the time. It's almost like sporadic visitation for Kanye, and it's super tricky.
So even me in my position, I was biting my tongue on my political opinion because I thought it would be better for my children.
I can only imagine how difficult it is for them to have a father who's so famous and yet who is at times so unhinged. Children need to be raised in a stable environment. And to me, Kanye is anything but the picture of stability.
Co-parenting, it's really hard, And
you're not co-parenting with just anyone.
Yeah.
For the quietest, easiest.
But I had the best dad, and I had the best memories and the greatest experience. And that's all I want for my kids, as long as they can have that. That's what I would want for them, So if they don't know things that are being said or what's happening in the world, why would I ever bring that energy to them?
I do think that for Kim, I would think that she would try to make sure that her kids understand that some of the things that comes out of your father's mouth is not appropriate, is not acceptable. We don't teach that in our home. Those aren't our values. You can love him because he is your father, but that does not mean that you have to approve of everything that he says.
The good thing for Kim, TMZ has learned their settlement is clear. If decisions have to be made and one parent is MIA, the other calls the shots.
Kanye, can we talk to you, Kanye?
Here's the big dilemma. If Kanye has a prolonged bipolar episode, which he has had, can Kim deny him access to the kids until he stabilizes? Or should she even have that power?
It ain't just up to their mama, but their kids go to school. Going to some Jewish indoctrination school.
I'm sorry, but we can't shield our kids from everything. And so as long as he's not locking them up in a bunker with guns or dangling them over windows or dangerous things of that nature, there's nothing the law nor the spouse can do about it.
When he parents, when he's around his children, you can see he's a different Kanye. And obviously we know Kanye is not gonna endanger his children, because I and you know Kanye at his heart. And he loves those kids more than he loves himself.
Kanye is not really living in reality at times. So what he needs to do is step back. And if he's not going to step back, then Kim has to really take over and make sure that the kids are safe.
So Kanye, though, would say, wait a minute, you think he's the only anti-Semitic person in America?
You are correct. There are a lot of anti-Semitic people. There are a lot of people who just are horrible and believe in really bad things. And you have the right as a parent to tell that to your children. That's the worlds we live in.
My daughter ripped up the couches in the house to be able to be with me right now.
From what we've seen, Kanye loves his kids, and the feeling is mutual. North simply idolizes her dad.
If he's never put his children in harm's way, then he should be allowed to see his kids. And unless there's a reason that he is physically a danger to them, from what we've seen publicly, that hasn't happened. And I can't imagine that with the Kardashians, with Kim, with Kris Jenner, that any of them would allow that to continue to happen.
As for Kim and Kanye, problems surfaced long before the ink dried on the divorce. Kim began dating someone, Pete Davidson, and Kanye went ballistic.
On TMZ, I just saw yesterday, they said Pete Davidson and Kim have sex by the fireplace to honor their grandmother. It's Jewish Zionists that's about that life, that's telling this Christian woman that has 4 black children to put that out as a message in the media.
I got love for the nannies, but real family is better. The cameras watch the kids, I stopped taking the credit. God sent me from that crash, just so I could beat Pete Davidson's ass.
It definitely took its toll on Kim.
You okay?
Not okay.
It's so different than the person that I married. I just can't. That's who I loved, and that's who I remember. I'll do anything to get that person back.
To be Kim Kardashian and marry a person like Kanye West, and to think that your children are gonna grow up in a Leave It to Beaver world is deluded, you know? You marry a person who's famous for being flamboyant, famous for being erratic. It's a feature, it's not a bug. And so when it goes awry, then I'm sorry.
And it got especially bad when Pete began interacting with the kids.
The boyfriend texts me, antagonizing me, bragging about being in bed with my wife. Well, who's watching my children if he's texting me bragging about being in bed with my wife?
There are lots of issues that may never be settled. If Kim remarries and her new husband gets close to the kids, what will Kanye do?
I just want chill. I'm not looking for anything. I think I really just need to be by myself and focus and finish school.
Well, Harriet Tubman never actually freed the slaves. She just had the slaves go work for other white people.
At the root of the problem, his mental illness. Without it, maybe the only things he'd be known for are being a brilliant musician, a fashion titan, and social activist. So how much of a difference should Kanye's mental illness make when it comes to what we think of him? Kanye West went on David Letterman's My Next Guest Needs No Introduction, and he talked about his mental illness that is sometimes in check.
This is like a sprained brain, like having a sprained ankle. And if someone has a sprained ankle, you're not gonna push on him more.
And sometimes it spins out of control.
Hey, everyone listen to this, please. 2 days before I was in the hospital, I was on opioids. I was addicted to opioids. I had plastic surgery because I was trying to look good for y'all.
Kanye was diagnosed with bipolar disorder after a manic episode back in 2016 when he was placed on an involuntary psychiatric hold at UCLA Medical Center.
I am putting my career, my life, my public well-standing at risk when I talk to y'all like this. This is a moment in the matrix, bro.
A few years later, he claimed he wasn't bipolar after all, insisting that he was misdiagnosed.
I was connected with a neuropsychologist that works with the athletes in the NBA and the NFL, and he looked at my brain. He said that I actually wasn't bipolar, I had sleep deprivation, which could cause dementia 10 to 20 years from now, where I wouldn't even remember my son's name.
Bipolar disorder is one of the most overdiagnosed and misdiagnosed things in psychiatry. Bipolar disorder is episodic, and you have manic episodes.
Look, I mean, the one thing we can talk about Kanye without you being his doctor, when do you decide, oh, well, he must be saying it because it's delusional and he's having a manic episode, or these are really his feelings?
Well, you're a lawyer, Harvey. You'll understand when I say I rest my case. You know, you're saying he persistently does this all the time over the course of numerous years. So is it a manic episode? No, it's not an episode. That's how he is.
Mental illness does not or has not been shown to cause racism. However, if someone in their life has experienced racial trauma, that is trauma. And so if you've had racial trauma in your life, which I would think he has, and he has said he has, then you would see that that is the core of a lot of maybe the symptoms that you're seeing or the outbursts that you're seeing or the behavior.
You have this moment. You feel everyone wants to kill you. You pretty much don't trust anyone. When you're in this state, you're hyper paranoid about everything.
In Kanye's case, his episodes lead to explosive tirades. And sometimes he gets physical.
What you're trying to do is get me in trouble, so I'll step off you, have to pay you like $250,000. No.
During these episodes, he's spun theories that have been fundamentally offensive.
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all?
Can I go back to something you just said? Because I don't want to let it pass. You said that slavery was around for 400 years. At a point, it becomes a choice?
Yeah, right now we're choosing to be enslaved.
How forgiving should people be over Kanye's words and conduct when they know he is in the grips of a mental illness episode?
I don't think that you can simply excuse his behavior, but I do try to understand it within the context of sort of who he is and experiences that he's had. And I would say to people that they should have a certain amount of grace, but that does not excuse his behavior.
Everything is a conspiracy. You see everything. You feel the government is putting chips in your head. You feel you're being recorded. You feel all of these things.
We all have mental health issues, whether we want to admit it or not. That's every single human being on earth. And I've been told, you've been told by our mothers or our significant others that if you just tell me the truth, I will respect you more. So why are we disrespecting the fact that he's being honest? Even if it's an anti-Semitic comment and he feels like that on that day, let's just appreciate the honesty.
But here's the twist. Kanye has chosen not to take his medication.
It was a Jewish doctor that diagnosed me of having a disorder that would have had me on medication right now. Because I didn't take the misdiagnosis and I didn't take the medication, I'm able to speak to you guys clear of thought and transparently. I'm not drugged out. These pills that they want me to take 3 of a day, I take 1 a week, maybe 2 a week. Y'all have me scared of myself, of my vision. So I took some pills so I wouldn't go to the hospital and prove everyone right.
Someone who has any sort of illness and that person willingly, knowingly does not take medication to help themselves, then they certainly bear a certain amount of responsibility for their condition and for their behavior.
Don't take another photo, man. Right, don't take another photo, man. I just got here, homie. Don't take no photos. Okay. Stop it. Brother, stop it, man. I just got here, brother. I just got here.
Fact is, Kanye says not taking meds when he was young was essential to his success.
We never had therapists in the Black community. We never approached like taking medication. And I think it's good that when I had my first complete blackout at age 5, my mom didn't fully medicate me because I might have never been Ye.
These meds do cramp down people's personalities on a regular basis. And to ignore these statements by people like Kanye who said, I don't like my meds because they tamp down my personality, to ignore those statements is at your own peril.
So you're saying you should show grace even if they choose not to take the meds that would stabilize them?
Just because you're psychotic, you can't rob a bank. You're still responsible for your behavior.
I know people personally who have decided not to take the medication because they don't like the way that it makes them feel. So it is really hard, if you're not in that situation, to even judge what that could be like.
And unsurprisingly, in a world where nothing is how it seems, some folks think Kanye's mental illness is a ploy.
Kanye, he play crazy with who he want to play crazy with. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, crazy when it's convenient.
Man, the world is literally falling apart in front of our eyes. We as humans need to be a little bit easier on each other in all areas, of all race, of all religions, all the way around. And that goes all the way back to talking about Kanye and his genius, his bipolar disorder, the things that we don't understand about a great, great, great person who is a dear friend to me and a brother who I will defend to the end of my life and to Earth's end, because I know where it derives from.
Kanye has taken a lot of heat in America for his wild behavior. For a while, he seemed to retreat, something highly unusual for him. But then, something changed.
Remember me? Yeah, here we go. Bianca Censori is an architectural designer who worked with Kanye at Yeezy. According to Bianca, they're married.
Oh, damn.
She spends time with his 4 kids, and they seem to get along well.
They sort of became nomads. They spent time in Dubai, Japan, Italy, and that's just for starters. They've barely spent any time in the US.
You often see people with psychotic disorders like schizophrenia be nomadic. You see them walking from city to city. They walk around all day from town to town. Why do they do this? Probably a symptom for them is what we call these negative symptoms. We think of schizophrenia, we think of hallucinations, we think of delusions.
One thing Kanye knows, how to find and court trouble. When he was in Italy, some residents were outraged he was dressing Bianca to look naked. Sometimes it didn't require much imagination at all.
And Kanye recently posted these risque images of Bianca cooking, wearing leather headgear, and very little else. Reaction online was swift and intense.
And he made headlines on a boat in Venice, with his naked butt hanging out as his wife appeared to be performing a sex act on him. At least that's what people thought. We don't know precisely what was going on there, but the water taxi company seems to think there were shenanigans. Maybe one of the reasons Kanye hasn't spent much time in the US lately is that his real estate choices here have been disastrous.
My solace comes from seeing my kids and getting a solid schedule. That's why I even got the house. You know, they flipped it into, the media like there was something wrong with me getting a house next to my kid.
Kanye bought a house a block from the family home where Kim and the kids still live, but he's now sold it.
And Kanye changed his tune on other houses.
We told you years ago he bought this place in Malibu that was designed, it was a very famous architect. Anyway, but he bought it for $57 million. It's right in the sand in Malibu. And after he bought it, he gutted the place and had big plans. We never saw those plans materialize, and now he is selling it. And he's already, right off the bat, in listing it, decided, all right, I'll take a loss.
And he's had a handful of other properties just sitting in a state of disrepair, or sold for far less than he paid for them.
What do you think Kanye's real estate strategy is?
I think Kanye's real estate strategy is non-existent. I think that he has probably the worst taste in real estate known to man.
Why do you say that?
Well, let's start with, he's never made a dollar doing it. Everything he's lost on, and everything he's ever bought, he's had to put back on the market for less than he paid for.
He may have failed in real estate, but what about what made him famous? Music.
For all his controversies, his anti-Semitism, racism, even violence at times, Kanye West remains one of the most successful and influential hip-hop artists of all time.
This is one of the most extraordinary music creators of the last 20 years. Somebody who made a slew of fantastic albums that were fun and witty, pushing the edge of what is hip-hop, super influential.
I fantasize about this back in Chicago. Mercy, mercy me, that mercy in Lago. That's me, the first year that I blow. How you say broke in Spanish, me no hablo.
For all the controversy and the trouble, he really is a musical genius.
Good life, sell tea. Wanted to get pulled over in they new feed. The good life, just go on and live is free. Man, they say the best things in life are free.
But many agree his glory days in music are long gone. At 46 years old, Kanye may have jumped the shark.
I will say, when you look at his album sales from when his first album came out, College Dropout, back in 2004 to where we are today, those numbers have definitely dwindled.
He hasn't made a good album in a long time, right? It's about 3 or 4 straight terrible albums. I can't imagine just bumping a Kanye album by myself over and over because the noise of the anti-Semitism and the anti-blackness is too loud.
We gonna be okay. God's not finished. God's not finished. God's not finished.
But you can't deny his musical accomplishments. 24 Grammy Awards, 20 top 10 hits, more than 27 million albums sold, and absolutely no shortage of self-confidence.
I'm standing up and I'm telling you, I am Warhol. I am the #1 most impactful artist of our generation. I am Shakespeare in the flesh.
Kanye even compared himself to one of history's greatest geniuses.
This generation's closest thing to Einstein. So don't worry about me, I'm fine.
But will talent trump all of the controversial things associated with Kanye? Or will there be a point where even his diehard fans throw in the towel?
It's possible that if he continues to put out music that is subpar, or at least not nearly as good as it used to be, eventually people may grow tired of the controversy, tired of the horrific remarks. But there's still a huge community of people who love what he's putting out.
Kanye wouldn't be the first musician accused of misdeeds, but remained popular. Sometimes fans are able to separate the art from the artist. Take Michael Jackson.
There have been many disgusting statements made recently concerning allegations of improper conduct on my part. These statements about me are totally false.
But the King of Pop never lost his crown. His music is still incredibly popular to this day.
Country singer Morgan Wallen has been suspended by his record label. His music dropped by many radio stations and streaming services. It was all after he was caught on camera using a racial slur in a video obtained by TMZ.
Morgan Wallen, same thing. He had a brief fall from grace after being caught on tape using the N-word, but now he's back and as popular as ever.
We see a lot of these people get accused of things, they are convicted of things, horrible things, and it's interesting to see who skates by and whose career is over. And I think it relies on how you've carried yourself throughout your career.
Then after the show is the after party. Yeah, and after the party is the hotel lobby.
Then there's R. Kelly, who sits in a prison cell convicted of enticing a minor and possessing child porn. He's now far better known for his criminal acts than his songs. Chances for a comeback when he gets out? Nil.
Let's keep zoning, let's keep floating, let's keep moaning. Girl, I know that it ain't over. In the morning, you'll be running back to me. Heart was broken, I am frozen.
The release of Kanye's latest album, Vultures, has been delayed 4 times. But if you're expecting a reformed Kanye, don't hold your breath. The title track leans right into his now well-established target, Jews.
Hooligans and we with the foolishness. I'm anti-Semitic, I just the Jewish.
I feel like when you ask people about Kanye, the first thing they say is, I really like his earlier stuff. Or they'll say, I wish Kanye would get back to being how he was before. But I also feel like we have to take into consideration life happenings and things that are maybe beyond his own control.
So what about other collabs? He's recorded with huge stars like Beyonce, Jay-Z, Rihanna, Madonna, and The Weeknd. Will top artists still want to associate with a man whose name has become synonymous with hate? Or does it even matter these days?
Even the people in his world who might not be collaborating at the moment aren't denouncing him. I think a lot of people are still open to it.
One artist who will never, ever, ever collaborate with Kanye is the biggest of all, Taylor Swift.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time.
That was remembered as he was rude, he's a jerk, that's kind of his shtick, he was drunk, he was standing up for Beyonce, but he was very rude to Taylor. You know, bad guy. Obama called him a jackass.
The young lady seems like a perfectly nice person. She's getting her award. What's he doing?
Why would he do that?
He's a jackass.
But we all thought he was a jackass anyway. That's kind of his shtick.
Assuming Kanye isn't going to morph into an all-inclusive type individual, ultimately, it'll all come down to the quality of his music.
We gon' praise our way after day dark, living, speaking, praise God, take it out the graveyard, back to life.
He may be gifted enough to make his fans accept just about anything.
I like the whole send me some more you try bitch.
Remarkable in every aspect of music, period. And he's not just a one genre guy. You can't call him a rapper, you can't call him a producer, and that's why we just call him Kanye.
Now I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke.
After all the controversies, the inexplicable and hateful words and actions, the big question now is, what does the future hold for Kanye West? Can his legacy ever be repaired?
I think that, sadly, Kanye is a great musician, he's a great artist, he's a great creative, and his legacy is already tainted by all of this, and I think it will continue to be. And I worry that if he continues down this road, it will overshadow one of the greatest artists hip-hop has ever seen.
Can he come back like Bud Light?
Yes. Yay? Yeah. It's gonna take one album.
Do I think it's possible for him to drop another great album? I do, because I think he's that intelligent, but he's also clearly very troubled. And I don't know that I and many others are able to receive his music in a positive way because he's been such a negative, destructive person.
Here's one thing we know for sure. Kanye West is a survivor. And if he's going down, he's not going down easy.
You know, they tried to destroy me in press. They tried to destroy all of my businesses at the same time, and the world saw it, and no one's saying anything.
I used to play Kanye music all the time. I am the guy now who goes to the workout instructor after class and says, please don't play Kanye anymore. It's so distracting. He's so offensive. I'm like, please, there's a million other artists who aren't triggering.
I get asked about Kanye a lot, and I think the thing, my first thought when I think of Kanye is, I think most people's, is genius. I think sometimes it's a little chaotic and unruly, but I mean, that's Kanye. That's what makes him him.
The consensus. Kanye has paid a price, a heavy price, for some of his hateful and offensive comments, but it won't take him out of play. He seems impervious to cancellation.
Next chapter.
Partly because he just doesn't care what people think of him. The consensus is he will almost certainly be around in some form for the rest of his life.